believe it's like one quarter of the season's finished already? Holy moly. It's a bit chilly in my house. I guess Joe's feeling the same. We're both repping our teams. It's Goldstein's 300th this week, so I'm rocking the North Melbourne merch. Mate, SuperCoach is nuts. I think people have gone a bit crazy this year, Joe. This week, I've heard so many, let's trade out Clary. We can make some money. Let's trade out Sheasel. Let's trade out Sheasel. He's got a sore thumb. Like, not that he didn't play the entire game last week with a sore thumb. Let's trade out Tom Green. He's suspended or will. Boy, mate, how you doing, Joe?
I know. Yeah, good. Absolutely. I know it's crazy. It's upgrade season. We've had 6 weeks now of this, and let's be real. This is not round 6. This is Anzac round. Let's be real. The whole talk of the town this week is going to be about the two big matches between the Anzac Eve and Anzac Day itself. No disrespect to all the other teams. Causa, oh my God, Corey, we've just started the stream, mate. We've just started. He's already dropping 10s.
Bro, come on.
Massive love,
what are you
bro.
doing, mate? Oh, buddy, thanks heaps, mate. You don't have to do that.
It's because you're repping the North gear. It's because you're repping the
that's
North.
Why. All right.
North supporter, mate. We can't wait to have you on. Thank you so much for coming in, Causa. Honestly, it is a lot of fun, and I know as crazy as it is talking about, trading out all of these guys. Look, it's all about getting a team to full primo, and we've been saying from the start that from round 6 onwards, this is the official point of the year where you really start upgrading, and beloved rookies that you've had and other mid prices that you've might have grown attached to. It's important that you that's it. If it means getting an Uber Primo, then you get him in.
There really is no favourites at the moment. I'm looking at all these rookies. I'm like, I remember when McKenzie scored 100. That was fantastic. I remember when Jinby scored 100. Stay in my team. Not anymore, Joe. That's it. We're done. We are done. It is cold. Look, even Pommy says it's cold, mate.
No, he's asking if
it's cold too.
No. I've only got the beanie on because I saw Big J rocking the beanie, and I'm like, stuff this. This is not a North Melbourne stream.
No.
But yeah, I've actually gotten hot in this beanie. No, Pommy. Yeah. It is actually, it's not cold in my house.
Now, SuperCoach-wise, I think the transition from round 5 when we said, hey, there was no players available to downgrade to this week, where there's definitely options. A lot of these players who were subs, like a Matt Roberts, even a Johnson, are going to be there. And, mate, it's going to be rough. For myself, I wish I had some trades left over. Not trades. I wish I had some trade boosts left over because I would be able to offload 3 players this week and be pretty happy with it, especially with having players like Tom Green out. He's going to be the big talking point this week of what he should have done. Should we have kept him for another week? Should we have got rid of him? That kind of thing. I know there's some talk in George's Discord at the moment about that as well. What do you reckon, Joe? If Tom Green, let's say you've used 2 trades, you've upgraded one up, one down, and you've got some money left over. If Tom Green keeps up with this level of scoring, he's not going to be a keeper for the year because he's only averaging like a 107. He's had a really good start, but kind of has fallen off a little bit in the last few games. I think a couple of sub-hundreds or just on 100. Scores that you don't really want from, your keeper mids for the whole year.
Yeah.
If you had the spare trade, if you had the spare boost of some cash, would you offload him for a 2 or a nil?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I would actually. But Cheese, you are very correct. Thank you so much for your generosity, man. Again, massive love for you. Mate, Big J.
I like Zach Merritt.
Big J loves nothing more. He loves nothing more than Essendon's downfall. He loves seeing me upset and whinging and crying. 100%. That is a disgrace. I reckon we should all march on.
If we're both winning,
Nah, we got to march to AFL House. This is an absolute farce. You play to the whistle. He was fighting through the tackle. It wasn't a sling. He just simply pulled him down onto him using body weight. It is a joke. The AFL has overcorrected far too much. They keep moving the goalposts. It's not fair. I 100% agree, Cheese. But I still think we're a good chance to win on Anzac Day. Now, in relation to Tom Green, it's really difficult because I think a lot of us picked him at the start with the hopes that he would take that next step. We saw last year what he was capable of doing. He then, started off really, really hot. And we're thinking, yes, Pommy, we need Carlton's lawyer. 100%. That is the biggest around in order to get merit.
Paddy Cripps. Let's go.
How Cripps won the Brownlow off of that.
Man.
And then you've got, oh, man, it's ridiculous. Yes, correct. Everyone got big Dacos. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think most people got him at least by round 3, maybe round 1. The lucky people got that big score. Round 2, everyone was like, holy moly, we better get Dacos. Before round 3, people like, get him in my team. Especially with Ridley kind of spudding it up after the first week. I think a lot of people had that notion of sideways trading as well. So
I think Dacos probably is the big probably the biggest favorite, I think, for the Anzac Day medal now result. I'll do it for 100K a year. Pommy, look, I'll pay you anything. It's whatever it takes. I'll give you a blank check, mate. Whatever you need to get Zach Merritt off, 100%. Cause up. Well, Oliver never got. Bro, that is the biggest. Did you see this, Big J? Did you see Clary's freaking suplex? He destroyed.
Yeah, it was funny because just like one person posted it on Twitter, and then it's kind of exploded a little bit. So yeah. I don't know if it's just unfortunate that he got busted. Also, that he didn't get busted. Same with Anthony as well. Off the ball, that kind of thing. It happens, I suppose, in the AFL. Sometimes players win, sometimes players lose. I mean, we look in the general, just the AFL game in general, right? People punch each other. People go in there and there's high tackles and eye gouges and everything. Stuff that generally doesn't get picked up on, as Pommy says, like... worst MRO,
I was at that game. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Then they showed it on the replay. He fully,
he thought it was WWE. He's going to join his friend Logan Paul. Come in there, smash a guy on the ground. What are you doing?
No, he just full freaking swung him into right hook to their head. And here they are. And then you've got guys like, was it Dangerfield, who went flying for the mark, foot out into Jinby's face? Like, come on. You can't pick and choose. It's absolutely ridiculous. We've been absolutely hard done by. Us, Collingwood, with Taylor Adams, these guys should not be suspended this week. That is a joke. You got Anzac Day coming. You can't ruin the game by having these two teams among their top players. I mean, if we had Merritt playing, I would have been so confident we win. But now that Merritt's gone,
I don't believe that. If a player does the wrong thing, I don't care if they're playing in the grand final the week after. If you get suspended, mate, you're getting suspended. So
why was it wrong? How was that wrong?
Dangerfield didn't have Jimby in his SuperCoach team. He screwed up his rookie choices this year. Didn't pick the West Coast rookie and had to rule him out for a week. So it's a rough one. If you do the time, you do the crime. I mean, not that way, right?
It's the other way around.
If you do the crime, you do the time. So
I don't believe what he did was a crime. I don't believe. I'm glad you boys are okay with trading out Tom Green because I've been thinking about it, but I've already sideswiped too many injured primos this year. If you had, it could be a buy flip.
Yeah, if you had the spare trade, so let's say you've done you got in Roberts, you've got in Johnson this week. Forget Williams. I don't think he's going to be a spot for the year. No DPP really hurts as well. If you've got those two as downgrade options and you've got a spare 100K that you're going to carry along to next week anyway, 100% do the Green trade. We look at his stats. We look at his scoring. He did the same thing last year. Came out the first 3 or 4 weeks, absolutely smashed, destroyed everyone, and then has really slowed down. I don't know if it's other players like Kelly coming in, taking a bit more of the ball, maybe a Perryman or someone else has come back, that kind of thing, or if himself has gassed out a little bit. A 107 is not going to be... Excuse me.
Bless you.
A 107 is not going to be a keeper for the year. And if you look at his cash gen, that's definitely an indicator of that as well. He's basically stayed the same price as what we got him at the start of the year. And it's 5 or 6 rounds in. So if you've got the spare trade, big advocate. Tuka Miller, to Tom Green to Tuke Miller is only 90k. So I'd do it if your team's looking strong enough.
What do you guys, Duke? Thanks for coming on, mate. What do you guys think of Parrish? Where do you think he'll finish in the midfield? Also, do you prefer him, Sicily, or Sinclair? Look,
this week.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Parrish. Big fan of Parrish. I gotta say it, especially if with Merritt out, it just means more midfield responsibility for him. It just means that he's going to get more of the ball. It also means good things for Setterfield too, so that's pretty good. But for Parrish, he loves Anzac Day, and he's a bit of a pig in terms of the. It's just his problem, I think, has been disposal efficiency, which has really let him down. Whether or not he's going to be top 8, I mean, you only want to pick a primo if you're sure they're going to be top 8. And from what we've seen so far, I'm not sure that Parrish is going to be a top 8 midfield as much as I love him. We've got a different mix.
Question I have as well is
we've got a different mix now with Setterfield.
He's very up and down. You look at his scoring, similar to a Callum Mills, right? At the moment, you just don't know if they're going to be top. You know, historically they've been around that mark pretty easily, but yeah, I mean, like scores of 80s and then just 100. I mean, the only really good midfield score he's had was round 2 with the 124. So it's not even like the ceiling's really there.
Things are
for
different
557k, I think it's worth a gamble. Like if you've got some money over, you can do it. But for 70k more, you're getting Tuke Miller. So, and he's got a better buy round. It's kind of
things are different
what you're comfortable with doing.
Yeah, because you've also got, like, we've added Setterfield to the mix. We're playing a different style under Brad Scott. So it's not the same as what we had before. It's not that all these ticky sideways passes to each other. A lot more direct ball movement. And I think Setterfield is really eating into his points a lot more. He's now getting more tackles that Parrish otherwise might have taken on the inside,
Parrish
for example.
Tackle Joe. What are you?
He does.
About?
He does, just not a lot. He takes into some of his
he
contested possessions. All right, you and your North Melbourne takes. He eats into his contested possessions. You know, Zach Merritt hasn't been affected as much because Zach Merritt is more of an outside player to begin with. So Parrish, though he is the inside player, now we've added Setterfield in as well, who's getting involved in the play. So I probably wouldn't go Darcy Parrish. He's also had that interrupted preseason with his soft tissue concerns. So personally, I wouldn't go with Parrish. I think Sinclair is your better bet, to be completely honest. I think Sinclair is still he scores better off half back normally, and yet even whilst he's been playing in the midfield, he's still been scoring quite well. So you can only imagine the upside that you're going to get from a guy like Sinclair. Now that this week they've got they're going to have Steele back this week, who's one of their most. It could allow for Sinclair to be playing behind the stoppage, off the stoppage, running off half back, and seeing a return to some of that great scoring that we saw from Sinclair last year. So to be honest, I think Sinclair is out of those three. Obviously, Sicily, you'd expect him to be a top 6. But I think he's still dropping in price, and him missing out on those kick-ins has really hurt him. So I think of those three, I'd lean Sinclair, to be honest.
Yeah, it really sucks for the people that didn't have Sicily, and then round 2 got him in from Tom Stewart, because round 2 onwards a 99 or 112. Okay, 112's fine, and then a 76 and a 91. So as you say, other people have come in and kind of taken his role a little bit. I don't know if it's like the captaincy that's done it a little bit as well, or a bit more pressure on him to kind of steady the ship. But yeah, I mean, he's got a break even of 154. There's no way. Whereas Sinclair's, I think I just had it up. Sinclair's break even is 113. So he's going to make that this week, or next week is going to be his lowest price. So it's a fair shout getting him in if you want to keep your upgrades going.
Yep, I agree. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, well, this is what Pommy's saying. Load up on Sinclair.
Oi. You know what else Pommy said?
What was
Pommy,
that, Joe?
Last tackle Parrish Lejo was on a boat with Rex Hunt. I will have you know, Pommy, mate. As funny as that is, and I do applaud you, that is actually a very funny one. I shall show you right here. Share screen. in this game against Melbourne, Darcy Parish laid one tackle. So he had a tackle, Darcy Parish, in that game. It was not with Rex Hunt. So thank you very much, Bobby. I rest my case. I should have been there fighting for Zach Merritt this week. Bloody hell. I'd give evidence like this.
Yeah. What can you do? So Pommy's saying Sincotta's a lock this week. I think what's he taking, Sard or Doherty's role? I know he's been doing quite well in the VFL, so he could be a really, really good downgrade option. Question is, Pommy, for you. Do you think he's got the job security to stay around if one or both of those guys actually stay in the team? Because we don't want to be picking a 100K player, really good player from the VFL. We don't want to be picking him and then 2 or 3 weeks down the track, he's like, oh, sorry, someone else has come in. What do you reckon?
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love for him to work. Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love he's a DPP, isn't he? Defensive.
No, I think he's on
just
defender.
Defense. Yeah, just a pure defender.
Yeah, just defender. Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Picked up mature ager, done really well. I think he was the guy that Murkov lost his job to when they ended up going to Collingwood. So yeah,
he is a defensive mid. 102, 400 defensive mid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, that makes it even better. It's just tough though. Yeah, we need downgrade options in that defense. Cowan is probably, on his last legs. Jimby, for me, is probably next week gone. So freeing up another 100-ish K or 180K Jimby down to Sincotta would be juicy, Joe. I've got to stop doing downgrades, mate. I need to start doing upgrades, but all my players keep getting injured. And because I don't have those spare boosts, I've almost got to do it like a week in advance.
Yeah.
It's a rough situation to be in, mate.
Yeah, I mean, well, Pommy says he's going to get 3 or 4 games, you reckon? So do you reckon it's worth the punt on Sincotta if he gets 3 or 4 games?
It's a tough one. If you've got 3 or 4 games and then he locked in his position, kicked out of Cowan, no worries. But if you came in and were like, okay, so 3 games gets him to his first price rise, I don't know if he's worth it then. If you're only thinking he's going to get 3 or 4, and he's not going to be a best 22 player.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't do it.
You have to get him on the bubble, in reassess, and you can't get him now.
Yeah, correct. Well, because did we read his was thing for myself to be able to afford Turk this week? I have to bring in Sincotta. Is it too risky? Otherwise, I just go for double downgrade and bank 300K for next week.
Well, I think you have to. So you start off with the upgrade. So whenever I toss up and do up a 50-50, do I pick this player or this player? I always go in and actually look at the player that I'm upgrading. So we're talking about Sincotta. Hey, he's not even named yet, right? So there's that starting in there. He probably will be, but he's not even named right at this moment.
Correct.
He's, he does really well. Fantastic for us. If we look at Tuke Miller, every score over 100, which is, it's bloody fantastic, but also that break even as well. So a 112 for him. He is versing North Melbourne, but I think we're going to have a better game because it's Goldie's 300th. I don't think we're going to be as much of a pushover. Yes, Jai Simpkins out, which is a big thing. But if he only gets, let's say he gets a 120, okay, Tuke Miller goes up to maybe 630K. I think almost doing the downgrade and then grabbing him next week, if you had to, between the two, I think might be a safer option. You really don't want to have dead rookies on field or dead rookies in your team at this point in time, because come the buy rounds, come rounds 9, 8, 10, 11, when you're doing your final upgrades, you need that cash. So just a big wait and see for me. If I was in your position, I would almost say bank the money and then grab him up next week, if that was your only option.
Yep, I agree with that. Causa, what is good about Green is the round 15 buy, and it takes premium out of the trickiest buy of the year. Yeah, a lot of premiums in that buy. Look, I'm personally going to be holding him. I've used a lot of boosts and a lot of trades that I'm still trying to correct my team as we stand currently. But look, him similar to like a Ridley type that I think aren't losing much price. They're hovering around their price. They're giving you decent, respectable scoring. You can almost consider them as stopgaps for the year and until you get to the buys, and then they can be your luxury upgrade into someone that is a must-have. Excuse me. So, look, I'm not. If you have cover on the bench, you're not going to be copying a donut. Then I personally would be leaning towards holding him. But if you have enough trades, enough boosts, that you haven't been wasting them like we have trying to correct our teams, then you can, I suppose, upgrade him. I mean, it's your personal preference. Really, only time will tell. But so far, he hasn't been setting it on fire, has he?
No. And the thing is, the people who are in that top 1K that are pushing for, your top 100, top 10 finishing position, the guys that have actually kept their boosts and kept their team going and making sure they've got some money in the bank, they'll do this trade this week. They'll look at it and be like, okay, the rest of the competition is going to have Tom Green for the next 10 weeks. I've got Tuke Miller, who's going to be probably getting 30 points more than him every week. Yeah. And that really adds up. That really makes that big difference between the two. Yeah. If it's not Tuke Miller, it's someone else. Yeah, exactly. Tuke Miller could average 300 points more than Tom Green before you end up trading him out. So it's something to really factor in there.
Yeah. He's Sard out and he's been demolishing the VFL. Just need reassurance. Do you mean the AFL, Sard?
No. He's saying Sin Cotter has been demolishing the VFL. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, I'm pretty sure a lot of people do agree because Cheese is like saying, it's time to jump on Sin Cotter train. Pommy never leads us astray. Truer words have never been spoken. Jeez.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Pommy, you're the man. Let's go.
Pommy knows what he's talking about. That's predicted the downfall of Doherty before it happened, mate. He knows Carlton more than Carlton knows Carlton. Do you prefer Hollins to Sinclair or Davey to De Goey? Hollins break even of 33, so he's still likely to make some more cash. Davey, I think.
Davey to. It's a shame you can't go Davey to Sinclair.
I know.
That'd be the better pick.
If you could do Davey to Sinclair, then you would have nailed it on the head. The question is, do you reckon De Goey is a top 8 mid?
I look at the scores, so I'm going at the SuperCoach scores at the moment. Let's go through the averages, right? If you haven't already, jump on FootyWire. It's footywire.com. It's bloody fantastic, I'll tell you what. If I go through there and then go, I'm just trying to work out where does De Goey line up.
De Goey plays in the midfield.
So De Goey's 511K running at the moment with an average of 110. So he has had some massive scores. I think he just got a bit sick last week, and that's why he's out. Obviously not injured or anything like that. No worries. For the price, the toss-up between the two is at the moment us having so many injuries like a Green with suspensions like a Zach Merritt and other players as well. Dropping an Ollie Hollins who is playing at the moment is a huge thing compared to someone else who isn't playing. Yes, the cash gen and everything's there, but if that was my toss-up between the two players, I'd go grab the Goey in, keep the playing player. That would be my, that 100%, that would be my choice there. Because at the moment, I'm fielding like 3 extra rookies in the midfield. Just because there's injuries, there's suspensions, there's everything else. Dropping someone who conceivably can score a 60 or a 70 pretty easily in a game, I think is a bit silly at the moment. Upgrading them to a premium, sure, no worries, but not over the expense of someone else. De Goey right now is ranked 9th in midfield averages, so he's pretty good. I don't see Collingwood falling apart anytime soon either.
Yeah, I think he really is up there. I think as Chase is saying, I don't think we can sleep on De Goey this year. I think he's a real chance to get close to top 8 mid. Already 30,000 and haven't got much to lose. Look, it's true. For those of us that are really far off the pack in terms of the higher rankings, it totally makes sense, I think, for us to go a bit different, for us to, because you're already so far back. I mean, you really have nothing to lose, as you say. And from what we can see, he's playing a lot more on the ball. He's getting a lot more CBAs. Collingwood are doing really well. they're just missing ruckman now, right? They just don't have any ruckman to tap down to him. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. But he didn't have a ruckman against Brisbane and still won 107. And that was a fairly quiet game. He just kicked. I think he only kicked one goal in that game. He just kicked that one goal, 21 disposals. It was fairly unimpactful, and yet he still turned up. So if anything, that game in particular is probably what's convinced me more than anything that De Goey is a viable pick this year. That even in his games where he doesn't look remotely challenging or threatening, he still goes 100 and Sincotta's Italian for 20 touches. Look him in.
How you doing, SDS? Hope you're doing well, mate. Thanks for coming on the show. Yeah, and thanks for tuning in as well. Hopefully your trade plans and everything has gone well for you. Joe, I still need to do a team review. So after this live stream, I'm going to get on that. Uni and life and everything else has really kicked me in the butt. So
shame on you. But guys, I'm going to put up Steve. SDS, this is Steve from SDS SuperCoach, guys. Obviously, you know him. We've had him on our channel multiple times. Friend of the channel, and he's been doing really well, guys. So if you haven't subscribed to him, please head on over to him and subscribe. He puts up some great things. And he also went to Gather Round. So please let us know, how was that experience, Steve? And I really hope you're going to start actually blogging it, putting up as little clips and stuff, because I'm looking forward to seeing what it was like. Pommy, cheat code is get a halfback or a ball-winning wide man. Whoever plays Carlton, legit cheat code. Look, you structured up really poorly. You guys got sucked up to the ball way too much against Adelaide, and you were put to the sword. Love the new logo too. Cheers, Pommy. Oh, love it. That's right. This face is in there now.
if we go back to, so Zach Butters is an interesting one. He's on the increase as well, so that 146 will push his average up. I don't know if it's worth you wasting the trade at the moment, getting him in. If it works out for you, it's fantastic. Like, no complaints ever. But if you look at his scoring, he's had 2 games over 100. One was a 101. The other one was the 146 from last week. Personally, you're going to pick him as a forward keeper. I would wait another week or two to actually cement him in my team, then do something else, because we're wasting time getting players like Black Butters in instead of getting, midfield premiums or defender premiums or something like that. Hey, he's speculative. Yes, he might turn out well, versus we know this guy's going to be top 8 or top 6 in his position. So that's kind of the toss-up between there. You don't want to get stuck bringing Zach Butters in. He makes you 50K because his break-even's low, and then you have to trade him out because he's getting 70s again. So really kind of tough. I think Port Adelaide as well, they're in a bit of pressure at the moment to play a few more of their established players through the middle. So it's going to be something to watch with them over the next couple of weeks.
I love Zach Butters. Zach Butters, he's such a club. I love him. Yeah. I love him more than Rosie. I honestly think, as a player and just to the eye test, I think what Butters brings to the table is better than what Rosie brings. I love Butters as a player, and the way he goes about it is amazing. But at the same time, it's heart in your mouth stuff, because he always leads with the head, and he always cops some sort of injury. Is unlucky. That's part of the reason why I probably wouldn't go him, because again, his scores have been fluctuating, and also his availability is also inconsistent as well, because you never know if it's going to be some sort of injury or if it's going to be having said that, the injuries are always contact injuries. They're not soft tissue. Yeah. But the problem is they could come from the teammates as well as the opponents. You never know when Sam Palpepper might be coming in and knocks him out again. Or it could be opposition. So for me, I'm always nervous around Zach Butters' pick. He's got a break even of 52, and he's got West Coast this week. So you'd expect him to score really well this week, bump up his price further, but he's already dropped 33K. And if he scores an 86, he'll go up 15. So it's not like that ship is sailing or anything like that.
No,
plus a lot of people, plus a lot of people already have most of their forward lines covered already when it comes to premium. So I'd agree in terms of holding off and waiting on him. And you say, Steve, you got some love on the channel. Chase absolutely loves your stuff. Worst case with Took, if he scores pants, at least you have the best rig in the AFL. But he has the best smile too. I know Steele has a great smile and stuff, very sparkly, but I don't know, man. Took Miller, when he smiles, it's something like, I question things looking at him. Dan, is this Freo tragic, Dan? I'm looking at Noah Anderson. Great run coming up. Great buy. I got Took last week. Loading up on round 13 buy players. Plan ahead, fellas.
Yeah,
look at Noah 100%. Anderson.
I don't dislike the pick. It's just someone that people just aren't picking. So if he works out for you, go for it, man. Go for it. Let's pull up Noah scoring. So yeah, a couple of really good scores the last 2 weeks. So 134 in round 4 and then a 109. I don't know if there's been a structural change at Gold Coast, because maybe it's with Witts being out. That's kind of done it. Ned Moyle's kind of sharing the load a little bit more than just hitting it straight to Took Miller, because the 3 weeks beforehand, a 93, 91, a 71, they're not numbers that you want to have for premiums in the position. So yeah, let's just touch on DPPs a little bit, Joe. It's rough. You hear about Petrarca missing out on forward eligibility by 0.7%.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
that was so
if he got
funny.
forward eligibility, SuperCoach this year would have been really, really interesting. It would have been mad rush, get Petrarca in. It would have been everyone's loading up on North Melbourne players in their defense to fill up their forward line with Petrarca and holding spots for everyone else. So it's almost a godsend that it didn't happen this week, right?
You're lucky. You can thank Essendon for smashing Melbourne in the midfield and them having to keep Petrarca on the ball so much. But yeah, Dan, Freo Tragic, guys, if you haven't subbed to Freo Tragic, please head on over to him. Yeah, I like Noah Anderson. I think there's definitely upside to these Gold Coast players. And yes, the buy. You do have to start looking ahead at the buy. You can't be trading in too many people from the same buy, because all this work that you do up until the buys, and all of a sudden it can all come unstuck. It could exactly. So many players, so many coaches could start off really far behind, but because they've planned their buys so well and their teams are never too invested into one particular buy, you see them rocket up in the rankings, and it's a really special time. So yes, listen to Freo Tragic, listen to Dan. He knows what he's talking about. Global, welcome aboard, mates. Absolutely love seeing Global in there and his peanut comments. I'm looking forward to seeing when that comes up. To go heat maps, I like a Big Mac after a night on the piss. Magnificent. I hear you, man. He's playing on the ball. They need him in there. It's a great welcome change. All of these comparisons, the Dusty Martin, isn't it the Kmart Dusty Martin, the Aldi, the Big W, the freaking IGA, it doesn't matter what he is. Those heat maps are better than what Dusty Martin had, I think. So I agree. It is very good. And you got Pommy in absolute stitches. So well done, son. Well, how many rookies and primos should we have on field at this stage? How many rookies?
Yeah, go for it, Joe. I'll give mine.
I was asking you. I was literally asking you how many rookies you reckon.
I think at the moment, if you've got 8 players left to upgrade on field, you're in the kind of what we'd consider to be par. 7 is obviously better after this week. If I had the extra boost, it would have gone down to 7. This is meaning like most people have filled out their forward line already with guys who are averaging around that 100 mark, or can make 100 mark. And then we're looking at a few of the other players. Yeah, so 14 this week is really good. I would be having about 8 players left to upgrade it before your trades this week. It's kind of the normal. If you've got 9 or 10, you really have to start thinking about what you're going to be doing, because you don't want to be still upgrading your team into the buy rounds. I think majority of people will be finished then. They might be holding a Sheasel or someone else, or a Tom Green like we've talked about before. But I don't think that you've really just got to be careful. There's been a few options at the moment that have been really cheap players. So there's just something to think about.
Yeah, I can't wait to get Day next week.
It sucks. I've held him on the bench for 2 weeks. Mate, it sucks. I mean, I think I beat you in scoring still this week, so I'm happy with that. But imagine if I had the extra 100 points from Day instead of like fielding a Lockie Cowan 42. Like, come on, man. It was my lowest scorer this week. It's really tough, Joe.
I know. Cool. Should I trade Green or Sard as have 28 trades and 3 boosts left, but haven't done many sideways, but need to upgrade still as only have 13 premium before this week, so need a 14th. I think you should do an upgrade this week. You still got 3 boosts left. I think you can. I think it's very fine to jump on one if it's a Took Miller this week, if it's a Dawson that you missed last week, if it's a Stewart maybe that you want to get on it, you think he's going to have a big game playing at home. If it's a Sinclair, I do think getting an extra premium this week is definitely worth it, especially if you've got anyone that you think are maxed out in price, or someone that has a really high break even. So if you got a guy like Mackenzie, for example, Mackenzie Baker, for example, who I'm not sure can make a lot more money. His break even is really close to his average.
It's only what? Baker's like a 40, 46, and he's got 53. So if he scores at 80, which is pretty doable, let's be honest, right? It's Freo, it's at home, it's on a bigger ground. He's had a couple of crappy scores, but this guy's got 80s and 90s in his scoring history.
No, he's only had 190 game, bro. In that 190 game, the stars aligned, and he probably had like 4 direct goal assists, just kicking it to the top of the goal.
I'll take it, Joe. I'll take it.
Nah, it's a fluke.
I get that. I understand what you're saying.
Absolute fluke. He'll never do it again. It's a one-off thing. So I'm totally happy trading out Baker this week and Mackenzie. Jimby's a question on a lot of people's minds as well. Yo is going to be out for some weeks, and it just seemed that with the return of Yo, Jimby's scoring went down. Jimby's scoring before the Yo returned was actually doing quite well. Now, Jimby has been.
Sure, it wasn't Dangerfield like KOing him in the face and then getting poked in the eye, and then all these other things during the game, Joe, that really made his scoring going down.
No, it was all Elliot Yo.
Okay, it's all Yo. It's not actually
Dangerfield did nothing wrong because he's not suspended. See, Dangerfield that it wasn't cited for anything. Dangerfield's not suspended.
It didn't happen, right?
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Correct.
Whatever.
Correct. Dangerfield is a safe player. He doesn't kick anyone in the face. It's because if Toby Green did that, you can bet it's going to be plastered on every single newspaper, on every single channel. Toby Green does it again, but it's Dangerfield. Good man, Danger. You know what I mean? We all love Dangerfield. Let's not raise that.
No, that's not it. So Green or Sard, if I had a gun to my head, I had to choose between the two. It would probably trade Sard just because Green's still playing. I'm not sure how long Sard's got left, before he comes back into the team. He did look really well, though. He did look really good when he was playing. But the fact that Green's out, just with suspension, he'll be back next week, and then Sard's not playing at all. The only issue is with that is that there's a lot of players around Sard's price at the moment that are going to be keepers versus Green, where you could use that 530K plus another 90K in the bank to actually grab a really good midfield keeper. So maybe Green's the one. If you've got adequate cover for a Sard this week, maybe Green's the player that you want to get rid of, just because there's availability, right? We've always talked about rounds 6 to 10 as being the time when these midfield premiums have actually dropped in price because they're so expensive to start. Now's the time you grab them because you don't want to be paying an extra 40, 50, 60K for a Took Miller in a couple of weeks. And they have really good runs, really, really good runs. You look at their scoring run and the next few games they've got coming up. Boy, oh boy, him and Neil, it's pretty good.
Yeah, correct. Thoughts on Aaliyah? Had that
He's
one
I
bad
haven't
game.
Thought about.
Every other has been 100+. Is his floor too bad for a D8? Too many better options. Look, Aaliyah is not one that has even crossed my mind simply because you don't really tend to want to select key position players. You don't want to start with key position, key forwards. You don't want key defenders. You'd much rather, if you're going to get a defender, you'd much rather have an intercept defender or a halfback flanker, distributor, those sort of things. That's the only reason why Ridley was on anyone's radar. Not because he's playing key position. If we knew that he's going to be playing key position, you'd automatically know that everyone's jumping off and not even touching Ridley anymore. It's simply just based on role. So when it comes to key position players, they have they could have games where they score you like he did against Collingwood, where he scores you a 44. You know what I mean? Like in that game, it was a demolition. They were destroyed by a much better team on the day. And key position players are prone to that. If they give away too many free kicks that directly leads to goals, that is also absolutely heartbreaking and devastating for their score. So that's why I wouldn't, when it comes to key position players, I'd sort of have them be like, last to be put in my side. Like, if your team is almost finished, you've got a few trades left before the year's up, and you can see, for example, Jeremy Cameron has got North Melbourne, Gold Coast, West Coast, just to end the year. You can pull the trigger and be like, I can see this guy kicking 5 goals every single game, 7 goals every single game. You can then do that as a final step just to get extra points. But at this point of the year, I wouldn't be going for key position players at this point.
No, especially when for a little bit extra money, you can grab like a Sicily, a Sinclair, that kind of thing. It's more a pick that, I have like one upgrade left in my team and I can't afford anyone else. That's what this Alia pick feels like for us, or at least for me at the moment.
Thoughts on saving a spot for Mills in defense? I'm looking at him after his roll 12 bye, as he may get DPP. I hear you. I was actually hoping that he would get DPP now, but I'm in no rush to trade him in. I love Mills. I had Mills last year. So much fun. Just the big reason why I stayed away from him this year was all the news of him having his role changed and him going wherever the team needed him. And that is not good for him. When he's playing on the ball, he has a ceiling like no one else. He is such a gun player, all contested, tackling, very clean as well. So when he's on the ball, that's where he can score you 200s. But so many times last year, he was on track for a monster score, and then just to make sure that they win the game, he'll play that goalkeeper role in the back line, just sort of defending. So yeah. I don't know even if he was to get defensive DPP, I think something would have to change some point down the line with this Sydney Swans team, where he is back in the guts regularly, scoring those massive points. How has he been scoring now?
It feels like he has one good week and then one crappy week. I don't know if it's just him getting moved around. I know it was something we talked about in the preseason when we did our Mills kind of review, was because he's so versatile, he just gets moved around a lot. And we find that in games, right? He'll score really well and then go missing, and then score well and then go missing, have a big quarter, have not a big quarter. I think Sydney's one of those teams that's a bit wishy-washy at the moment, where we're looking at them and they're kind of just trying to adapt and work out what's going to happen with the side. I know guys like Luke Parker have really kind of fallen off their scoring as well. So maybe your Chad Warners and Gouldens are taking a bit more of that mid-transition time than what Mills would have. I think Rampy and the other players being out in that back line's kind of forced him to be, more present in that area as well. So, yeah, it's a tough one. I love the player. I wish I had him. Last year, Magic got him and then he scored a 200 and I was very jealous. So hoping next time I get Mills in, maybe I'm a Mills owner this year.
Yeah, I'd love to have Mills, but something I think would have to change for me.
Smash the like button, guys. It's really going to help us here. So there's 40 of you guys here. Just give it a big smash. Let's go. We're here till probably about 7 o'clock, 7:30. So it's really good today. There's not actually a game on, so potentially we can go a little bit longer. We've obviously got lives and things like that, but happy to stay here and answer your questions as long as you guys are around. No worries.
Live. What's a life? My word.
Life.
What's a life? James, only thing I don't like about Noah Anderson is he goes missing for long periods. He looks on track for 150 some games. If you're a betting man, he's very scary at the moment. Well, that's why, guys, you always gamble. If you're going to gamble responsibly. So no one has paid me for that, by the way. But yes, I'm not a betting man myself, but I can totally understand where you're coming from when you're trying to keep track of this guy. The reason why I didn't go with him at the start of the year, despite him having that interesting price point, is just because, I don't know, like you say, he does tend to go missing. The only thing that I was hoping that would happen more is in the big moments, though, he stands up and shines. So even if you might have periods where you go missing, the most important thing is the way SuperCoach scores. It gives a lot of scaling for high impact plays and possessions. So he's someone who is very clutch, and we know this because of how he nailed that goal against Richmond and when they had that massive comeback and he worked his ass off in that last quarter and he ended up on a massive, massive score. So I was hoping that a guy like Anderson, I can afford to not start him, watch him during the year. Hopefully he shows me enough that, I'm a bit confident jumping on him a bit later into the season when I've had a bit more data on him. I've seen his consistency and he stood up. Unfortunately, Gold Coast haven't been standing up very well. Someone needs to give him a chair or something because they've just been lying down. So they're not good.
It really seems to be kind of the talk with him, doesn't it? They have a really good start off to the season. Someone gets injured, something happens. They start playing the kids. They slowly start falling down, and then they end up mid-table again. I can see it happening. It's rough. It's bloody rough, mate. But it's what's happening at the moment.
Does Stewie Jew survive this? Like, he worked so hard to get that contract extension. The players have been very vocal. We want to play for him. We love him. They've managed to retain this key talent. Like Anderson just recently signed an extension as well. So you'd expect that he's got the trust and belief of his core group. I don't know. You'd hope that you get more out of them. I'd keep an eye on Anderson. I'm not 100% sold on him just yet, guys. But if he's still around the price down the track, and it's all about points, I suppose, at the end. And now, try and get the players that you know can score you big points. And Touk Miller is definitely one of those.
Don't miss out on getting these guys who were, 650K plus. Don't miss out on getting them at the sub, 650K underpriced, because they might just go up, and you're going to have to spend 3 trades to get players in instead of 2. Obviously, that's going to set you back. So Noah Anderson, maybe after the buys, unless he's come out on fire, like, everyone else is left in the team and he's the only one there. So it's an interesting one.
Thoughts on Chase Jones? Could he end up being a Will Day type? I know there have been people that have been talking about Chase Jones and are flirting with the idea of getting him. But for me, I'm not one of them. I'm sort of hoping a lot of people jump on him and then they get burned by him. I don't know. I think there's a lot of recency bias when it comes to looking at scores. People can get hot for a short period of time before they then crash back down to earth. And I think a team like Adelaide, with all of the hype around them beating Carlton by so much and gather round, and a team can feel up and about, but it can take one game for them to be too high, a bit like Icarus, flying too close to the sun, and all of a sudden you're happy, you're flying, everything's great, and all of a sudden someone pulls the rug out from underneath you. A la Melbourne Demons get put to the sword by the Bombers. Let's go, boys. I don't know. Will Day is someone I have more faith in because, and I know it's crazy that I'm saying that, given I can't trust Sam Mitchell as far as I can throw him. I don't like how much they tinker with that team. But everything that he's saying and the data with the ever-increasing amount of CBAs that Will Day is getting, it just seems to all be pointing towards Day is a lock into...
I see one team's lineup.
All righty.
I see one team's popped up, Joey. Maybe I have to quickly check. It's an interesting one. Yeah, I'm with you, Huss. No footy on Thursdays. It goes till Tuesday, though. For super coaches, it's insane because we'll still have the Monday live stream, right? But, mate, you've got like 2 days and then footy's back. So if you loved, it feels like NRL, tell you what.
That's right. On your Huss. So love having you on.
Out at the moment. Keith's in, Bruce and Mitch Hannon's out. So you got Liam Jones, man. He's going to start getting all these intercepts. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, Corey.
Why did I trade out Jones last week? This is ridiculous. I hate it.
That's all right, Joe. It happens. This is super.
The universe is against me, mate. I traded Jones out.
The big thing, Corey Wagner's still playing.
Yeah.
And Matthew Johnson's named as a follow-up. So if you don't have Johnson, he's a real upgrade target, a real downgrade option this week. Expect a 60 or a 70 from him. It looks like he's keeping guys like Nathan O'Driscoll out. Named on ball is exactly where he wants to be. So chuck him in your team. I mean, they could put Sarong there and then not have him, but yeah, he's not been dropped, which is bloody fantastic for owners.
Oscar Baker on the bench,
fine.
second last player named.
That's all right. I mean, there's games where Caleb Daniels been named in the ruck, so like, come on, there.
Fair enough. All right, so here we come to.
Oh, Jinby's playing. Jinby's playing.
All right, let's have a look. Foley, Shuey, True, Hoff, Yo's out. Long is out. Oh no, my boy Long. I got Long.
It's happened. Well, I mean, he got injured, so what are you going to do, right?
Injured. Yeah. Teakle. Oh, Teakle's in. Jonas Lord. Scott Lysette has been dropped.
Yeah,
Mead's been dropped. Dylan Williams. Dylan Williams is not a downgrade option, guys. He's been dropped.
Well, there you go. So we've got Johnson as an upgrade option. Dylan Williams is not an upgrade option, so it sucks for the people that brought him in. But we knew that was going to happen. People in that back line come back from Port, and then these players who are playing, they're just waiting to get dropped. It's tough. Their back line is one of the things, like, I'm going to say Melbourne's midfield, maybe not so much, but Dogs midfield a couple of years ago where no one could get a spot in the team. That's what Port Adelaide's backline's like. So really just got to be careful there when picking these kind of players.
Correct.
Hey, Luke, thanks for coming on, mate. Fantastic score last week. You smashed me and Joe by like 70 points. So congrats there.
On your Luke. Absolutely gun. Well done,
Let's go
mate.
down to the next one, Joe.
Next one. Ooh. Perryman is back. Oh, Cornelio stocks increasing. But then again, there's no green.
Yeah, it's rough. I might have to bring him back in I might have to bring Cornelio back in. That's all right. 500K, we can make it happen. It's not a big deal.
Cooper Hamilton injured Canadian. Yeah, no one cares about them. Darcy Fort, no one cares. Lions was a sub. No one cares.
Connor McKenna's still playing. Wilmot's still playing, which is big. I think a couple of people had, like, Rouston's. Is Rouston still playing, or is he out of the team?
No, Rouston is still named. He's there on the interchange.
So that's a good thing for people that have him.
Yeah. Frickin' Cornelio.
Yeah, man. I'm not happy. I'm
not happy either. It is what
get
it
out
is.
of my team, but then get back in my team also.
Oh, Francis has been named on your Franger. Anyone who's been dropped?
Will Gould has been dropped.
One game. No. He finally plays. He shows the real person, only to then be dropped the next game. Oh, poor Gould. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
World's smallest violin playing for your son.
SuperCoach is brutal, man.
SuperCoach, man. Footy in general is brutal.
Both. AFL's brutal. Play one game. That's it. Kick you in the butt. See you later.
Now, Global with his peanut comments. Love it. Jake the Goat Lloyd. I am not against it. I'm not against it. For that price, and his scoring output has been impressive.
Yeah, he's been doing really well. There's another week of no big talls in that back line too. So no McCardens to take the ball off him. No Rampies to take the ball off him. Expect probably 100 out of him. This is like the back line that Sydney had 2 years ago when Jake Lloyd was averaging like 115 and was, almost D1. You look at it, Fox, Braden Campbell, a bunch of smaller players, and then he's the one that's the real distributor. Blakey probably take a few of his kickouts, but yeah, he's kind of the real distributor there in the back line. Yeah. But is Matt Roberts, okay, Matt Roberts is in. Yeah, Gould is probably the sub, but he was the sub last week, so,
Yeah, he was
what it is. Matt Roberts is playing, so it looks like Johnson and Roberts are the two downgrade options this week.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm seeing so far.
And that's it. Those are the teams that have been revealed.
That sucks, because it's going all the way to Thursday, Tuesday game, so I think there's some more coming out tomorrow, and then there's some more coming out the other days as well. Maybe we have to do a live stream tomorrow, Joe.
Yeah, we could be doing it. Ross asks, hey guys, Radigalia v Roberts on field.
I think you have to pick Radigalia. Roberts has had one good game, but I think Radigalia is probably a good for a 60 or a 70. whereas Roberts could have an up or a down game. I think he's probably the one.
I don't
would be
know,
thinking.
Bryce. I don't know. People are stirring me up. I heard Ashcroft and Sheasel might be out. Have you heard anything about Sheasel, Big J?
Well, I mean, Ashcroft is still named. So, I mean, Ashcroft is named at the moment. Sheasel, so the thing with Sheasel is he was training away from the main group today. He's still got his thumb problem that he had last week during the game. It didn't hurt him last week in the game. I think the more speculation with Sheasel is he's been playing halfback. Aaron Hall's coming back. So I think that's kind of the correlation that people are making between the two picks. But I think North Melbourne are going to play him still. It didn't affect him last week. So unless something else has actually happened, sometimes players, they just get managed or they just get rested, or it's just like, we don't want you to stress it any more than what has happened. So we'll wait till tomorrow, I think, when the teams come out. But yeah, I think we're okay.
Yeah. Causa, as you mentioned, Ryan Clark isn't in. Now, I'm a Stewart owner and I'm absolutely terrified about this. I might have to pay up and get Dawson in this week just to make sure that I've got a primo that's actually
get the big Dawson in, mate. Make it happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. So, but Bryce picked up Johnson last week, hoping for a huge game. Yeah, well, it looks like a lot of us are going to be getting him in, seeing as he's actually named on the field, on the ball in this one. So, and as mentioned, there is no Williams. Williams has been dropped. So the only two real viable downgrade options this week have got to be Roberts and Johnson. Justin. Hey, Jen, Saad to Stewart, Green to Lloyd, McKenzie to Roberts leaves me 210 grand. So we're sidewaysing 2 premiums and doing McKenzie to Roberts. As you might have just heard us say, Justin, Stewart could get tagged this week by Ryan Clark. So
he probably won't. Let's be option, right? Let's be
Nah, they've sent him to him the last 2 times they've played. Yeah. They played twice last year. Ryan Clark went to him both times.
All right. Well, we'll see.
And he's been brought in this week. So I think the writing's on the wall, Justin.
The Stewart kryptonite, Joe.
Don't tell me that. But yeah, Justin, I think twice, 3 times, 4, 5 times before doing that. Duke, what do you guys think of Davey, Baker, and Jinby to Williams, Roberts, and DeGoey? Well, not Williams.
Well, Williams isn't playing. So Williams is out of that. Williams is gone. He's no longer playing.
So it could be Roberts then. Well, you already got Roberts. Then it's got to be Johnson. Yes, Roberts is is mid forward. So you can have Roberts in your forward line, and rather than Williams, you can have what was his name? Johnson. DeGoey, look, mate, if we're far back, you got to take some gambles. And that DeGropey scored 100 plus off 1 goal against Brisbane. Yeah. So
yeah,
I
think he'll have a big game coming back too, being like, hey, I missed out last week. I was a bit sick. Let's go and smash it this week. I have a feeling that's going to happen. So.
And there's an Anzac Day medal on the line too, and they don't have Taylor Adams.
Mate, this guy loves his goal. What are you talking about?
And he's got Taylor, and there's no Taylor Adams this week, so it could mean even more midfield responsibility for DeGoey. Mate, I'm almost talking myself into getting him this week. Matt Johnson or Matt Roberts? Who do we pick? ¿Per qué no los dos? Why not both, bro? You gotta. It's all about the money.
That's really the big thing, isn't it? Which one do you pick? It's tough. I don't know if I'm the person to say it because I know I'm going to pick the wrong one. So maybe I'll say one and then you pick the opposite one. We look at Matt Johnson. I think from what I've heard from Sydney people, he does really well on that wing. And there's no one else who can really play that kind of position the way that he plays it for them. So that's a big upside. From Matt Johnson, one of those players that we knew coming into the preseason was going to be a really solid pick. I think a few of us had him in their starting teams. Obviously, he's come in now. he seems to be keeping out the likes of O'Driscoll, the likes of Erasmus. Yes, he's named on the ball as well. So he's keeping out a few of these other players in the team. So I reckon if I had to choose, it would be Johnson, but Roberts' DPP is nice.
Yeah. Big Tommy, on you, Tommy. Thanks for coming in, mate. Hey, fellas, Jimby, Chandler, and Mackenzie to Roberts, Johnson, and which one of Luke Ryan, Caleb Sorong, or Jack Sinclair? I'm leaning towards Ryan. Thanks. I'm leaning towards Sinclair, Tommy. Luke Ryan is one of those players who gets injured but doesn't go out. He will continue to play injured. And that is so annoying as an owner to have a player who is capable of scoring more, but because of their injury, I've heard that this guy is taking some sort of injections in order to get through the games.
Sure. Is there more games named? Because all my North Melbourne players have got green dots on them.
Let's refresh the screen. Oh, there is more games. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Gee, this is a live rolling, not a lockout, but team reveal. Oh, Finn McGuinness is in.
Yeah.
Do we know what that means?
Means nothing. Means nothing. It's not going to happen.
It means a Dawson tag. Dawson tag.
It's not going to happen. You can't tag him. You tag him, he goes to the back line. You tag him, he goes to the forward line. You tag him, he goes to the mid. I just don't think
fine. They don't want him on the ball. They want him in the back line. That's where the Hawks don't want Dawson in the midfield. If Dawson in the midfield, he's getting score assists. They want him. Hawthorn want Dawson pushed out of the midfield into the back line. So Finn McGuinness is going to Dawson.
See.
Thank you very much.
We'll see. So looking at this team,
sorry, Cheese.
Yeah. Looking at this team, Cam Mackenzie's probably going to get named alongside Mitchell and probably like your Scrimshaw. So that might hurt Sicily's kickouts a little bit. From what I'm hearing, he's the one that's been taking a lot of Sicily's kickouts. Finn McGuinness might actually be named as well. So we'll see kind of what happens there. Luke Nank, I think he's just going to be sub if he's named. We'll see. Scroll down to the next one, Joe. So Green's playing. Go back up for a sec. I saw a name there, Joe.
I saw a name too. I saw a name.
Green's playing on the ball, so that's fantastic for us. So good coverage if you need him.
Pull forward, bro.
Yep, go down.
Hey,
but where's he named? Is he actually named on field, or is he named on the bench, like extended bench? Okay, so it's extended bench. So he's not officially.
Right, he's not named here if he's not going to play.
No, but they do that. It's just it comes up as new because it's new on the team sheet. If he's not picked in the 4 interchanges, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, but he's not named new on the team sheet if he's not going to play.
Yes, they are. Of course they are. They are. That's how
he's going to play, bro. He's going to play. He's going to play.
Like saying Tom Campbell's named, but he's not going to play, so he's not there.
Yeah, but he's new. He's not. You don't put in someone new to have them there be new, but not going to play. No, Tommy, if you're in the chat, please slap him, bro. Slap him for me.
We'll see.
Am I losing my mind?
Cowan's named on field, which is fantastic for people like me. Holland's named on the wing, which is kind of, we knew that's where he was going to play the entire year. I really sucks I didn't have him on my team. Moving down the list, so St Kilda's got a few coming in. Might be the week to jump on your Jack Sinclair.
Big J's correct.
Exactly. Big J's always. So let's not say always. Sometimes is correct. Sinclair's there at half back, but Jack Steele's named, so we'll see what happens there. Maybe Rowan Marshall actually does better this week because he's got someone to actually tap down to. That's not Brad Crouch. I don't think there's anything really there. Poor Anthony. He's probably the most traded out player this week. So
we still love you, Anthony. He's a flog. He instigated it. He dropped the knees. He's soft. And thank you because we're playing them this week. So Anthony.
Look, hey, Joe, Corey's got my back. Cadman has been new when he didn't even get named. So
that's on the coaches. That's on the teams. That's shame on them. Shame on them.
Oh, look who's named. Who's named? Big Aaron Hall might be back. That's
No,
going to be
I was looking at
interesting.
this guy. I was looking at
Oh, okay.
Wits.
You're talking about Jared Witz. So people traded him out and then they brought him back
He's
in
back.
again. Interesting.
But I'm not going to trade him in this week, unfortunately.
No. Jared
Aaron
Witz.
Hall. What does that mean? All right. Where was so Zeebel's been named there? Where was Sheasel named before?
Oh,
In these,
I think Sheasel was named full forward, right? In the last game.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't think it matters too much. Yeah, I don't think it matters too much. Paul Curtis probably comes back in. Will Phillips, maybe. So let's look at North's interchange, right? Aaron Hall probably. I would pick Aaron Hall as the sub. I would say Liam Shields is in. Paul Curtis is in. Will Phillips is in. And then Clarko loves Daniel Howe. So I would say those are the 4 ins with like an Aaron Hall as a sub. I think it would be hard pressed to have him as the main runner. Maybe they put him in and he's like a Jack Zeeble swap or whatever. But kind of coming off major injuries, being put into a full game again, we know how that works out for Aaron Hall. So due diligence, if I was the coach, I would do that.
What I'm annoyed with, where is Charlie Constable?
Yes. Yeah, it needs more 35s in the VFL.
Where is Constable? I hate this. No, why is he not here? Bloody hell.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Do you want to be sacked, Stewie Jew? Is that what it is? You don't want your team to win?
There's no way that we drop Phillips after, especially with Jai Simpkin being out. I'm surprised he's not named straight in the guts, to be honest. But see what happens. Got a couple of questions. Just go. So Tommy's saying here. What's Tommy's question? Cool. So he's saying.
Yeah, we answered that one.
Yeah, this question here, and then was talking about. Would you back Cogs? Yeah, back Cogs, 100%. Goulden. So your thoughts on Goulden, Joe? What do you reckon?
Is he a keeper? Would have been an upgrade to another keeper primo. I think he's a primo. I think he's playing on the ball, not 100% of the time, but he's playing for a great team. He can hit the scoreboard. I mean, he's basically a different version of Rosie, right? I'm not sure how many people are talking about trading Rosie out. So, look, I don't know. I think these guys are not issues on my team. I think right now, more than anything, I need to get rookies off my field. I want to have less shit scorers on my team than the premiums who are capable of scoring me over 100. I just don't want to keep fielding the Bakers or Cowens or I just want the lowest caliber of rookie on my field to be like a Jimby type or an Ashcroft type. I don't want multiple Wilmots and below. I think Wilmot is the lowest caliber scorer I want on my field, flat out. You know what I mean? So I think getting rookies off the field is much more important than getting rid of. This is definition of luxury, I think.
Yeah. What else we got? Okay, go for it.
Jonas. Wait, no, but first, Jonas also. Why recommended Jordan De Blowy? Yes, I love the nicknames. He's never played a full season in his career, always misses games. Well, he's missed a game now, Jonas.
I'll be back
So hopefully that game that he's missed is now behind him. He's able to play the rest of the year and he's playing on the ball. Look, it's a gamble. Yes, of course. But there is a bit more sample size to it than at the start of the year. Obviously, people who started him, congratulations. You got him in for some good scores before his price rise. But thankfully, he hasn't gone up too much in price. We've been able to see that he's got a good, decent role playing on the ball. And even if he isn't a keeper for the whole year, he can at least make us some money before flipping him out around the buys if need be. Should I get Johnson this week or wait for Steve Wagner next week? I think Johnson is a fine pick to bring in this week. People seem to, Freo supporters, believe that he is really good for his role. He's ahead of guys like O'Driscoll, who burst onto the scene last year. Only time will tell, but I think you can back Johnson in. Big Tommy, surely Sinclair stays out of the midfield and CBAs this week. Well, if Steele is back, this is only positive news for Sinclair, I think. We want him behind the ball, running off halfback, distributor. I think that's where his best scoring is. So I'm seeing upside. Grundy and emergency? I haven't had a look at it yet, Sean. Let's have a look. So Laurie Turner, Lever's back. Is Lever's back this week? Gawn is back in this week. Oh no! Gawn is back. We knew that was going to happen. Hibbard's in. Melksham dropped. I'm surprised Melksham was dropped. He was one of their only options forward that was actually scoring and marking against us. Tomlinson dropped. Spargo injured. Yeah, Spargo ducked and got himself concussed on Mason Redmond's hip. That is unbelievable. All right, so that back line has automatically just gotten a lot stronger now. Clary's still in the middle as usual. Petrarca on the ball. Viney gone. Sean, I wouldn't be nervous. I wouldn't be worried about Grundy. I think he's 100% going to play. You hear what Simon Goodwin, what Goody said in the post-match conference after the game. He said that we brought in Brodie Grundy not to be the solo ruck. We brought him to ruck with Gawn. I can't imagine that in Gawn's first game back immediately that they're going to just throw him into the deep end, ruck the whole game by himself. I definitely can see Grundy helping out.
Max Gawn!
The problem, though, is that for us Grundy owners, I'm going to have to trade out Grundy this week. As crazy as that is, I don't want to get... He's obviously going to beat his break-even. His break-even is in the 60s, but he's not going to beat it by much. And I don't really care. I don't want to have a bloody 60... I don't want a 70 score from him this week compared to a guy like English who could literally quite easily double his score with another 140. So... anytime, Sean. What else is there? Big Tommy. I think I'm going to back Sinclair over Cogs Ryan. Look, I personally agree with you, Tommy. I think Sinclair at this price is very nice, and Cogs is someone that you can still wait on. He's not that ship isn't going to be sailing away.
No.
Cogs has been so frustrating watching him play because he's got the role, but he's just not been impactful at all. He hasn't been doing anything. So, I think Sinclair, even in a role that isn't suited to him, he still looks better. He just passes the eye test, whereas Cogs, something's not right.
The thing with Cogs as well is that he's still got that break even of like 106 or something.
Yeah.
So he might only just stay the same price, whereas we're all assuming Sinclair is going to hopefully move up a little bit. Something I noticed on this game, Joe, is Big Tyler Young survives another week.
Correct.
We were talking about him to starting the season and 102K, whatever. Tyler Young survives another season.
He survives again.
He
can thank Broad for that, yeah? We can thank Broad for
and Robbie Tarrant being out as well.
And Robbie Tarrant, yeah.
The big one for you, big one for you is over-unders, right? I'm going to do an over-unders for you this week. Cade Chandler, over-unders, 55 points this week.
Over? Yes.
Okay.
What? Do you agree?
Over. Well, I assume so because he's in my team. I want him to score more. I've got him on field.
If he plays, bro. Where is Cade Chandler?
He's in the back line at the moment.
What? Oh! Role change for Chandler. Let's go. No.
Yeah. So he's kind of the big one this week. Is just like what's going to happen. Wait and see.
If he's playing half back, he might not see the ball because I can see this man.
I don't know.
I can see this man going bananas after he was towed up last week. He was towed up for that first half against us. Set a goat, respect the man, and I called that will happen. They coming off a stinging loss. It's Anzac Eve. They've got their captain Max Gawn back. There was a lot of people, talking about Melbourne. Could this be something? Blah blah blah. Grundy was exposed in the ruck. They're gonna come out and well and truly be like, nah, we are the premiership favourites. Stuff all of you. We just had an off game last week. We got Gorney back, and we're going to show everyone that we mean business. So I can see that they're going to go absolutely bananas this week. So Clary is going to be my captain this week.
Mate,
yeah.
Clary is not going to stop people from bringing the ball up that, like, in the middle. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's not going to happen.
Chandler was named there last week, according to Causa, and Med says he was named a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
It's I just wanted any excuse, any reason to talk up Clayton Oliver because he's going to be my captain this week. So guys, be sure not to pick Clayton Oliver as your captain. Everything's going to shit for me, so be careful about that.
Ryan's named as ruck again, so great for the people that have still got him. I don't know how well he's going to do against Max Gorn
and Grundy
and Grundy. But this is why. So people roasted the Melbourne pick. People roasted Melbourne giving up, salary and giving up trades to get Grundy in. But this is 100% the reason why they did it, right? Games like this where they can completely demolish the game, where Grundy's basically another midfielder like Jackson is at Freo, and then coverage when Max Gorn or the other way around actually goes out for a week. So, yeah, it's worked out fantastic for them at the moment. Hopper's, I'm really glad I've got him back in. He'll eclipse, my prediction is in like 3 weeks, he's going to eclipse whatever Setterfield is priced at, just for the way that he's playing.
Really?
Yeah. Well, what's Setterfield priced at? Like 450 now?
You dare.
Hopper's 408, man.
In front of me.
No, Hopper's 408. Like, Hopper's got 2 weeks, and then he's probably going to end up more points.
Jonas. Yes, son. Yes. Listen to this. Setters is going to go over 100 this week, and if we win, he's going to get the medal. Don't you worry, mate. He will.
Is that your prediction, Joe? Come Monday? Is he your prediction for the medal?
Yes. If we win, if we win, it's because if we win, he's the medal guy.
All right. So
if we win, he's the medal. You heard it here.
Yeah.
He's going to step up in the absence of Zach Merritt. He's going to step up. A lot of players, when they get interviewed by the AFL and they have their feature piece, they always come out the next week and absolutely score bananas. You look at what happened last week. Dawson was the guy. Dawson was the one. Everyone was talking about Dawson. He's moved across from Sydney. He's now flourishing. The Mr. Fix-It Man, the versatility. And then he drops a 150. This week, it was Settergoat. Settergoat had his interview. It's going to happen, bro. You come crying to me. Come crying to me later.
On Monday, you can rub it in my face if he comes out. What are we saying? What's the over-unders?
Look at this, bro. Look at Meds. Look at Meds. He's going 140 plus. I haven't gone that big. But as you can see, there are people in this chat who really believe in Settergoat this week. He is absolutely flying this week. No merit. And then I have a ruckman. They're going to have Kruger. Bro, Kruger's shoulders are busted, bro. I can literally ruck better than Kruger this week against Draper and Phillips. So I'm really excited, man. I'm really, really excited. Can't wait. Luke Jackson looks like he gave up for us last season as well. Take Grundy all day, but seems Grundy struggles against the 2 rucks like last week.
Yeah, which is why having Gorn back's done really well. Marshall does the same thing as well. It's kind of these skinnier ruckmen. The ones that are a bit more mobile but aren't the biggest size really get bullied out by the double rucks. Happens with Tim English as well. Happens with Grundy. Happens with Marshall. And a little bit with Todd Goldstein as well. It's one of the advantages of playing 2 rucks over a single.
Yeah. Now, do we have? Well, that was Anzac Eve.
No,
do we
I
have the actual Anzac Day as well?
Game's out yet. I think that comes out maybe even like Sunday.
Yeah, so there's no actual Anzac Day game.
Most people have Nick Dacos. I don't think he's going to get subbed out. We haven't heard anything about injuries.
So we know Adams is going to be out. We know Merritt's going to be out.
The goalie should be back in.
Murphy's going to be out. I think Alwyn Davey Jr., people held on to him, whether or not he's going to be named again this week. I think he probably will be. If we want to.
Happy with that.
So that's not too bad. Wiedemann, I think, is a fair shout to come in, though. So who knows, man? We've got to wait and see. There's a fair amount of change, I think, that has to happen with this team.
I want to take a little bit of I want to take a second and just do a bit of a appreciation for Todd Goldstein and just kind of his career at the moment for this week. Coming up to 300 games, mate. This guy, since 2010, has only missed like sub 10 games since 2010. Like, he's been in the AFL system for what they're talking about, 15 years or something. Boy, no, 7. When was he picked up? 2006. So into the 17 years he's been in the AFL. 17 years. And since he started playing, since 2010, I think he's missed like 7 games. Like, it is phenomenal how well he's been doing, how much of a stable he's been. 300 games, massive milestone for Todd Goldstein there. You know, obviously not like the dominant like a Max Gorn or something has been. He was a premium at one point. 2015 was his best SuperCoach year. But, yeah, just kind of how dominant and how longevity he's been. Kind of even just being kind of the prototype ruckman for a lot of how ruckmen are playing now. Being that guy that can run around the ground. They're talking about him in the opinion piece, talking about how he was one of the few players at his time where he he was talking about how he was one of the few ruckmen during his time when he first started that would actually run around the ground and do stuff versus just being, you know, your Sean Darcy or whatever, staying still and then hit the ball and then let everyone else play. So, yeah, bloody fantastic for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and could have left, but has decided, hey, he wanted to be a one-club player, and he obviously has done that now. So it's just a shame he's got a big black eye from Cam Zurhaar because he's been in all the media stuff with a big black eye. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate as well the guys here in the chat. Well done, all of us, for acknowledging this absolute stalwart of the game, one of the best, the number one hit-out ruckman in the comp. Absolute gun. I actually had I called him Pod Goldstein because he was a pod for me last year. I actually had Pod Goldstein in the team last year, so I got a soft spot for him too. He's a great player.
I still remember. I think I watched one of the games, maybe 2021 or 2020, just kind of like in between COVID at Marvel Stadium, and someone was yelling out at Todd Goldstein, "Todd, do better! You're in my SuperCoach team." Oh man, I just thought, yeah, it happens, mate. It's pretty funny, but yeah. He's done fantastic. North's got up a new t-shirt as well that I'm going to go and purchase in support of Todd. So yeah,
nice.
It's bloody fantastic. 300 games. There's only been 5 other players at North Melbourne that have got it. So, yeah, big milestone there.
On you, Todd. Congratulations, mate. Hopefully your boys can get up for you and get a win against the Suns, who really haven't been performing as well as a lot of people have hoped or predicted that they would. Obviously, they felt the loss of Rankin has been massive for them. I'm not sure if a lot of pundits out there realize just how big of an impact losing a guy like Rankin would have. That X factor, that cleanliness up the ground, just a point of difference. But yeah, a lot's been left to too few, I think. Anderson, Rao, Miller, just these same, I think, trio, Wits even, like, you know, just this same small group. Just a lot has been left on them. It's just a question of the periphery, and I'm not sure they're getting enough out of those players.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of I was going to liken it to if Charlie Cameron had left Brisbane or Ginnivan or someone had left Collingwood, but they seem to have been able to cover a lot of those positions, right? They've got 2 or 3 guys that can play a similar role, that kind of thing. Whereas Gold Coast kind of building the team that they were building. He was the mainstay. He was like, okay, we can get him and then have a Rosas or someone else, and then they can kind of build off each other. Now they've almost gone to square one again. They're like, okay, you know, we've got Holman. You look at that forward line. It's not very inspiring, right? Like, Ellis is okay, but he's more a midfielder. All right, Lukosius, the guy can kick from 60, 70 meters out. Fantastic. Same with Ben King. But the small forwards, the medium forwards. It's just kind of
Yeah.
I would take Paul Curtis over any of their forwards.
And there's news that King apparently, like the paperwork is like the deal
Yeah,
is
some
almost
people
done
say
behind closed doors. That he's
he's
going
the
to
back.
Collingwood, apparently. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
there was a report that it's almost like it's a done deal. So if King wants to go, like it's hard to imagine that Stewie Dew can have a lot of faith and have a lot of the board's confidence moving forward that they've lost their generational forward.
Is it him saying though that I don't think it's Stewie Dew that's stopping it. I think just kind of when you only top up one good player every year, when you haven't been able to bring anyone in, there's not that appeal to have people coming in. Like Richmond, for example, bringing in Hopper and Taranto. That's two good players that they brought into the team that's impactful. When has it been the last time that Gold Coast has really had that appeal to anyone? I understand that they're trying to get players.
Gary Ablett Jr.
Huh? Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like if you have to go back that far, you're in a bit of trouble. They need like an injection of 2 or 3 good players in a year. Someone who's not just like the C grades from another team. They need that kind of injection. They're trying to play Geelong style while they get one player every year, maybe. But the team's just not there at the moment. Guys, remember, we've got 45 people in chat. Chuck in your comments what you guys are talking about with SuperCoach this week. We're here to answer. We're probably going to be around here for at least another 20 minutes or so, maybe. Yeah. Chuck in your comments. We'll have a chat and happy to answer all your questions there. About SuperCoach, about footy, about anything really. So
yeah. Jonas reckons that Grundy will ruck the majority against Richmond reject shop rucks going forward and is a major sub risk this week. Trade Grundy next week, not now.
Maybe.
Look, but Jonas, I might do that. I'm sort of torn 50-50 whether or not I hold Grundy this week or trade him out this week. Like I said, I do think he's going to break that. He's going to beat that break even. It's just the question is, what am I giving up in the process? Is it worth copping a 70 or an 80? But if you reckon that he's going to be the majority ruck, then he could score around 90, 80 to 90. If he's the majority ruck, but we can't predict that in advance, obviously.
An 80 to 90 just might not be enough, Joe. That's the only problem.
But what happens if it means I can get a guy like Dawson in though?
Then I'd probably do it. For this week. Well, let's look at it, right? Let's look at it objectively. So if we say he's going to score an 80 to 90, okay, you're probably going to cop 50 points on opposition ruckman, maybe let's say 30 to 40 points. No worries there. We go into it and we look at his break even. So is that going to make his scoring go down? Okay. Quickly look at his break even. He's got a break even of 67. So if he scores a 60 or an 80, so 70 or an 80, he's still going to go up in cash. It's not like his break even's 200 and he's going to drop you a lot of money. So you've got the advantage there. He probably still gets to close to 600K. So yeah, you don't really have a disadvantage. You're only losing out because Max Gorley's back. That's really the only negative there. So you can afford to do that. Who would you trade him out to? Is the question. Would you be looking to grab an English?
Either Witts or English, right? Or maybe even a Darcy, right? Like, I don't know.
You've got Marshall. So you're Marshall Grundy at the moment.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go and look at English. So Tim English, everyone thought he was going to have a dud game. It's not really worked out. It sucks. Tim English is probably going to be around, let's say, 675K. So there's a bit of money there next week. Sean Darcy is...
No, if he scores 100, if he goes 131, he'll go up to 683.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, tough. Boy.
Sean Darcy would be the one to probably bring in. Would be a comparable around the same price without having to spend extra money next week for you. Guys, if you've got any questions, feel free to chuck them in the comments as well. Remember to like the stream if you can.
That's still of a trend for Lockie Weller. Yeah. I agree, Tommy.
And then Sam May. So grabbing Sam May and then all that kind of thing happening. And then, it's rough, man. giving away bows and pick 7. Like trades like that, yeah, it gets money off your books, but you could have used pick 7 to grab a good player from another team. Like these are the trades that, yes, your salary cap's cooked at Gold Coast, but you could have been able to do different things and it would have really saved the team. Trades like this, they're playing almost like they're the premiership favourites, doing small trades, doing these kind of things, offloading salary caps, being like a Collingwood or someone else. But, they're still stuck in the mud.
Yep.
It's tough, man. What's your projected this week? Let's check.
What do you reckon? Who do I field? This is a problem. How about I do my change?
I've got 8 rookies playing this week, Joe.
All right, let's have a look. So this was my team going into. This is my team going in. What do you reckon? Yep. What do I do realistically?
Okay. So how you don't want to sideways like a Ridley, right? You're happy to keep them for another week this week. Who's the players you want to bring into your team? This is kind of what I always do. Who are the players that you want to bring into your team this week? We need to downgrade a couple of players because there's guys, guys that are kind of eclipse their price. And who are you aiming to bring in this week?
Look, I missed the Dawson train last week.
Yep. So is he someone that you want to bring in?
650K. The thing is, I'm looking at Dawson and the way he's scoring with his role, it's almost like I know I don't have Ratatouille because
I don't have him either. I thought he was going to be, and he was until like Geelong played nobodies, and then Tom Stewart was out, and then everything else happened. So it's a big miss. So who are the players you want to bring in this week? Who's the premium? Obviously, upgrading to a premium is kind of the thing.
I don't know. Let me know, guys, in the comment if you think that it's that I've missed the Dawson train because I'm going to be paying 50K extra for him.
Yeah, but his break even so low that
I know he's just going to keep going up
again.
I know, and he's M1 at the moment. You know what I mean? Like it's almost as if you're spending 650K for Clayton Oliver, for example.
D1. You're getting D1 or M1 at the moment.
So Dawson is the one that I want to get. That I think if I don't have, he's just going to keep burning me forever.
Would you be spending your trade boost? How many boosts you got left? 1 or 2?
I've got 2 left.
Okay, so would you be spending a trade boost to get Dawson
in? I would have to. I can't one down, one up to get him in.
All right, so press the boost. This is live, boys. Live, Big J talking about what's happening. All right, so you're going to keep Tom Green, right?
Big Tommy. Yes, sticking by Ridley. Ridley is someone that isn't losing me a lot of cash and is giving me respectable scoring. He's not an issue. He's someone that I'm probably going to hold until the buys and then flip him at his buy to another top 6 defender. Like him on the field isn't causing me any issues at this point in time. And I reckon he'll score well this week. I don't know. I have a feeling. And yes, Med, I know Dawson's going to be freaking completely out of reach at some point. So
are you keeping Tom Green this week, Joe? That's the question.
I am, yes.
Okay.
I am.
Cool. All right. So looking at your team, how much is Long? How much is Long, like money-wise?
Long is 243, 300.
So is he someone that who are the players that you wanted to get out of your team this week? Like rookies-wise, who are you happy to get rid of?
I'm happy to get rid of McKenzie.
Yep.
I'm happy to get rid of Baker.
Okay.
And probably Long as well. But I think Long returns next week.
Maybe.
And Long's break even is 37.
How much does Long, McKenzie, and Jimby get you money-wise?
Oh, sorry. So if I was to trade out Long, McKenzie, and who? Jimby.
Yep.
But I like Jimby.
Okay.
I like him more than Baker.
All right. So my question for you this week, all right, let's be hypothetical here. Would you be interested in potentially getting a Sinclair this week? Just move like Wilmot or someone.
Breaking of 113, he's someone that can be waited upon. He's not someone that
I'm hypothetically trying to work out if you can go like grab a premium around that 500k mark and then offload Tom Green to Tuke Miller this week. So put Tom Green in there just to see what you can do. All right, so let's go Tom Green out and let's chuck in Tuke Miller.
Oh, so am I taking Sinclair out?
Yeah, get rid of him. So chuck Tuke Miller in if you can. Yep. So okay, so you don't have enough money, which is the tough bit. If Will Day was named this week,
I know
potentially you could go all in, and it would have been fantastic. But no, yeah, maybe just set it up, Joe. Maybe just go your 2 players and potentially a Jinby out. There's enough guys to play. I think Baker's better than Long to keep just because he is playing this week. So yeah, chuck in Dawson, and then we'll see. I know you've got Tom Green still selected there, so get rid of Tom Green and then put Jinby out. Yeah,
Jinby is going to score very nicely this week. I'm telling you.
He's got a break even of 81. He's tanked, Joe. Baker can score you a 60 or a 70, and he's going to stay at the same price.
What do you mean he's tanked? If he gives me 70s, he's going to get the 320 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's cooked though. He could score a 30 again because he's coming off major injuries last week.
They're not major injuries,
bro.
Dangerfield did nothing wrong. Dangerfield is a saint.
You trade out Jinby, you've got money left over for the following week's upgrades. Baker doesn't give you that.
I trade out Jinby.
Yep, and then put in maybe just move like a Rosie up or someone else. Oh no, you don't even have to keep Rosie there.
All right,
and then
Johnson.
Put Johnson in. Done. Easy. No, road one.
Wait,
it helps if you spell.
How do you spell Johnson then?
It doesn't have a H.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, how do you spell his name? Johs. Yeah, Johnson. Oh, he's in my team. How do you not have him?
Oh my God. Johnson has just been deleted from the game.
No, because it thinks you want a defender in. You've got to refresh the page. That's what it is, because you did like the Jinby swap out for everyone else. So just refresh your page.
No, Johnson doesn't
that works.
Johnson doesn't
do that
exist.
Again. Yeah.
Johnson is dead. All right.
No, so not dead.
So McKenzie's out.
Yeah.
Long is out. And you reckon Jinby's out?
Yeah. DP, he's not even named on field, mate. He's named in the interchange again. He probably won't even be named as subbed. Just forget about it. Don't worry about it, mate.
I don't want to hear it, man. I was so close to not starting him in the start of the year. I was so excited to not start Marshall.
Yeah.
And then I freaking start Marshall. I'm so cut. Bro, I don't want to trade out Jinby, bro. I reckon Jinby's going to be him out. I don't care. No, Big J, I'm going to punch you in the face.
All right.
Big J, I'm punching you in the face. I'm keeping Jinby. I don't care. Come to Nary Warren and I'll meet you in the pub, bro. Come to Nary Warren, I meet you at freaking Fountain Gate, bro. I'm telling you, I'm keeping Jinby.
Yeah, you and Captain Kim are going to meet me there, are you?
Yes, me and Captain Kim are going to meet you at Fountain Gate. I want Jinby. I reckon Jinby. I hope everyone trades out Jinby and then he freaking shows everybody up. I'm telling you.
To be honest, I've got Jinby, but I think in your situation, having some extra money for next week is a good thing. Because Wilmot's a fieldable player, right? So you can still keep him.
Yes, I will field him.
It's just that you're getting rid of 2 midfielders, so you might as well put 2 midfielders in.
Matt Roberts and Johnson.
All right. Done. See, you can't do it. You got to get rid of Big Jinby, mate.
Oh, Johnson's not 123k. Damn it.
Nah, you got to get rid of Jinby, Joe. You can't afford it. He's named on the ball. You know you're going to get a 70 from him.
Who's named on the ball?
Johnson, you got to get rid of Jimby, mate. You can't afford the trade.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, you say Jinby better role than Chandler, maybe, but Chandler's break-even's very low still, so you can expect Chandler to try and get to that 300K mark. That 80, 81.
Chandler's going to be playing more forward though this week.
We're in a bit of trouble.
But Chandler, they've lost Spargo, so that means Chandler's going to be playing.
That's fine. Chandler kicked like 3 goals before. Like,
yeah, but
you're saying it like it's a bad
Spargo.
thing, right?
Well, I have to trade out Jimby now. Unfortunately, I can't otherwise. Damn, I'm so sad. I wanted Jimby so much. What's Jimby score? Freaking 500 this week.
500. Oh, and now you've got some money left over for next week. It's not a lot, but it's something, and then you can do what you're going to do.
I'm sorry, Jimby. I wanted you so bad. I promise.
And that backline's slowly getting better, Joe. Slowly, slowly, slowly.
Yeah, but this is a very sad spot here.
That's fine. You've got 3 players who are playing. Like, get over it. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. No big deal.
Oh, watch Dawson get freaking tagged out of oblivion, bro.
Joe's big
yes.
Joe's gonna raise hell. Oh man,
I will. I will. I really will. I want him so bad. But he's gonna freaking kill me. I could totally feel it. But look, Med reckons he would definitely try to Jimby if allowed for me to getting a rookie up to a primo. I mean, these trades, if you look at it, we've got 3 rookies out for a primo who's probably D1/M1.
And you've got 2 more guys that are on the bubble or close to enough that are going to make you money pretty quick. Like the trade outs and trade ins.
On your Rodney, trade Ridley out to get Dawson. Ridley has not averaged 100 in full season, excluding COVID, and will not this year. That Dawson will average 10 to 20 points from you. Yeah. Ridley could be a flip today.
Hey Joe.
Or
don't forget to put Hollins or Baker or Roberts on field because Tom Green's out. Yeah. So actually, when's they're playing? So you can loop. Maybe don't loop Baker and Hollins. Sorry, maybe don't loop Baker and Johnson, but you could potentially loop Baker and then go, hey, if Baker scores well, keep his score. If not, put a Roberts or a Hollins on field. So no, keep it the way it is.
I can put Theo on Johnson because there's no guarantee.
Because Tom Green's out, yeah, so that's a 0.
Yes.
So
I can and Johnson is the first game. Oh, but Baker is also playing.
Baker's already playing first game. Yeah, so loop Baker. No, loop Baker. You hated Baker before. Luke Baker.
I think Johnson's a better scorer than Baker.
That's what I'm saying. So put him on field and Luke Baker. If Baker scores big, you keep the E on him. If not, you just put Hollins or Roberts on field for Tom Green. Yeah. Do you understand? You can't loop Corey. We can't loop both because they're playing at the same time.
They're both playing at the same time.
You can't loop both. Frio's playing Bulldogs.
He's saying, and now there's a chance he's jinxed Dawson.
That's fine. It's Joe. It's gonna happen anyway.
I know. It's the way my season has played out. I will have absolutely no surprise. You know what, Dan, freaking Frio tragic.
Nah,
he is so right.
Nah, when Dawson comes out and scores another 130, you're gonna be like, oh. Jinby, I wish I had traded him out to get Dawson in. Oh, he's 700K.
He's going to cop the Finn McGuinness tag this week. He's going to cop the Finn McGuinness tag. He's going to score 12. He's going to score 20 this week.
McGuinness can't tag his kickouts, can he? What's he going to do? Stop him getting kickouts?
Yes, he'll be all over him.
Yeah.
If I can trade Sard, Logan, Jimby and Chandler to Cogs, Took, and Roberts, is it worth it?
Yes.
When ranked 22K, or hold on Sard, hoping it's when we can trade Baker. No. You don't know with Sard. It's a bloody hamstring. You can't. You don't know if it's
100%. I would do it.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Deepay. Campbell's not playing, mate. You've said it 4 times. He's not even named in on field yet. So
you know what? I would actually laugh my ass off. DP. Time DP. I would laugh my ass off. I swear to God. I would laugh my ass off if Campbell actually is named. And it's just like, yeah, everything has fallen apart as predicted. We knew it was going to happen. I actually kind of want to see it happen. I actually want to see so that next week I have to trade out both Grundy and Marshall. That would be unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like that would be so much fun. But yeah, Dan's like, don't break your team to get in Dawson. Don't break the team. Have I broken my team to get Dawson?
It's not breaking your team, mate. It's not. You've taken away rookies on field and you've brought in a premium. The number of premiums in your team has gone up.
It has.
So I don't understand. Like, how many players till full premium, Joe?
Huh?
How many players till full premium now?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Grundy has to be fixed.
Yeah. So next week, probably, would you consider using your last boost next week?
I probably want to leave one for the buyers, to be honest.
So,
but
what
wait,
would you
how am I
Grundy?
looking though? How am I looking for premiums in the buyers? So around 12, I'm missing.
That's fine.
One. I'm missing
Alan.
3 premiums, so that's fine. In round 13, I'm just missing Stewart. I'll have to get Tukin at some point. In round 14, I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, yeah, 5 premium. Oh, but Grundy will not be there in my team next week. Who would that be next week? Realistically,
Darcy.
It could be a Sean Darcy.
I think Darcy's the best one because he's just a straight swap without cash.
Yeah, I'll probably be Darcy, to be honest. And then in the last buy, round 15, I'm only missing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is probably where I'm missing the most. It could be a green flip at this point to someone who's a top 8 midfielder. So at that point, I might only be missing 5 premiums.
And you got rookie.
I'm not too invested anywhere, which is pretty fine.
Yeah, you've got rookie cover at that point, hopefully. So,
Kevin, best week for Took is this week.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it. You could
outscore Dawson easily.
Joe, you could do it. You could keep Jimby and get Took Miller in this week. You could do it.
Let's have a look at that. Live from the Centre Bounce headquarters, we're showing you Joe's conundrum.
Joe's mistake.
Look, Dan. Not everyone is as good at SuperCoach as you are, my friend. Okay, I'm sorry. I suck at this game. I'm here not for my knowledge. I'm here for a fun time. All right.
For the friendly banter.
I'm here for the friendly banter and to bring smiles to your faces. All right. If it means it's at my own expense, so be it. I'm a selfless guy like that. All right. So let's see how we do. So we've trained out Mackenzie still. Mackenzie can go. Long can go and Baker can go. So, can we afford it? Oh,
so you
can we afford
can do that? Yeah, you can do it. It's not a problem.
Oh, we can afford it.
Yep, I told you can do it. Yeah, Johnson in. No worries.
I've got his name.
Yeah, done. If you want to do that, if you're confident that Took's going to score more than Dawson, and Dawson's going to get the tag and tanking cash, then yeah, and you get to keep Jimby. It's not a big deal.
Save the cash to get in Speaker North for Grundy. So that and Dan, is that the money? I've actually got less money in the bank doing this as opposed to shut up, Tommy, man. I know. Honestly, this guy's going to be more shit than you are, Big J. Honestly, Tommy, I love you, but this is unbelievable. He's going to go 150 now. He probably will go 150. Look, Dan, I trust you, man. I trust you a lot. All right, so Took comes on for Johnson. Oh, yes, Julian. Yeah, we're going to Took against North. Yep. Wish you could help me this week with my team. Have Sard, Green, and Grundy and have no clue what to do. Sard and Green, you've got both of them. There was someone up above that mentioned what they were going to do.
So you can trade Grundy if you want, but as Joe's saying, we've worked out if he scores an 80 or a 90, yes, it's a little bit less than a Marshall who probably scored the same anyway. But the break even's very low, so you can survive a week on him. Green, you can survive a week. Sard, you just have to check the injuries and see what's happening. You don't want to have to give up your upgrade cycle to trade out Sard, but if he's still not named again, I don't know if you can pull up the injury list for Carlton, Joe, but yeah, it potentially could be a rough one and he could be out for a while. So yeah, you don't want to miss out on, you don't want to keep Sard for another week and then another week and another week hoping that he comes back from injuries. That's kind of the big thing at the moment.
Adam Sard, hamstring scan showed a low-grade hamstring strain.
So he's out this week.
If
he misses another 2 weeks, you don't want to be like, oh, I've had to hold him for 4 weeks in a row. It's a rough position to be in. Whereas Grundy's okay to trade next week. Green's just coming off suspension. So trading both of those would be luxury, but it's not worth it at the expense of trading your team. Most people this week, if your projected score this week is around 2150 plus, I think that's going to be pretty average this week. I think a lot of people have copped carnage across the board. So yeah. I think you're okay there.
But yeah, sorry, Dan, with the money I save, supposedly, I've actually got less money in the bank this way. Is the money I'm saving from keeping
traded out of
from
lower play?
Yeah, I know, but is the money though that I'm saving, the cash, it's sitting here in this Jinbi player who could make money moving forward.
Drop in money. It could easily drop in money, Joe. Could come out and drop a 50. If Jinbi drops a 50, are you okay with him losing 10K next week? That's the big question. Who are they playing? Port Adelaide? They're playing Port Adelaide at home, man. It's going to be a tough game.
But there's no Yo.
It doesn't matter, Joe. It's Port Adelaide at home. They're a good team.
I mean, yeah, it's true.
It's tough, man.
It's very
tough. A lot easier to score a 50 than it is to score a 71, especially when your team's not as good.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. No, I can't change your mind now, Joe. That's it.
What's Took Miller's? Took Miller's got a break-in of 112.
Yeah, you can do the same trades as what you've got now, I think, and then not. Or maybe you can't because you need a defender in. Yeah,
because if Took Miller goes 118, he'll go up 2K. If he goes 123, he'll go up another 2K. You know what I mean? I can afford to wait, can't I?
Yeah.
On Took Miller,
100%.
I mean,
people just are expecting they're expecting a 150 from Took Miller this week, which might happen, and they're expecting Dawson to get tagged because McGuinness is in. So that's kind of
Is Took going to score 150 on you guys?
I hope not.
Can he?
Took Miller can score 150 whenever he wants.
Let's see. Game day.
If you're depends on how many boosts you have, Logan, but I think Sard's the one to go because you just don't know when he's coming back, and you don't want to hold a 600K, a 550K player for 4 weeks. You know, if he's back in next week, okay, but if he's not back in 2 weeks, it's rough holding the points that way. Yep, and Med's saying here, Joe, he scored a 167 against North last year, so. Now, that was North without Clarko, but still, it's a big score. All right. Joe, in 5 minutes, I need to go. So, yeah. 5-minute warning for me, guys. And Joe's happy to chat with you guys for a while, but yeah, 5-minute warning for me.
No midfielders have gone huge against North Melbourne this year, have they?
Our contested work. So our midfield and contested work is actually really good. We're rated quite highly. Even LDU's rated quite highly, but yeah, it's a tough one. Key defenders, key forwards will get us because our defense is still working itself out. But midfield game, we go fairly even. Now this is without Simkin, so this is with Simkin in the team. Obviously, he's out now, so something might be a bit different. But yeah, This year, our contested ball use has actually been pretty good. Yeah, and then Neil. So people are saying Neil went massive. So maybe not.
Yeah.
Book it in, Joe. Do it. Keep Took. You know, you're happy with your guns. Your midfield looks better. Ashcroft is your only player there in the position. So yeah, keep it.
Actually, my field looks a lot stronger having it this way. You know what I mean? Like, it's still just a Wilmot there. It's Ashcroft at MA and Chandler at F6. So I mean, on field, it does look decent. It's just
you know what you could do if you were cheeky? Put Jinby as the E and put Constable on field. And then if Jinby scores bad, you can just loop Callum. So, like, that's not a big deal.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so Green.
So you just have to pick someone for him this week.
So it's just going to be Johnson, I think.
I would go Hollands, man. I think Hollands is good enough for a.
Like if Johnson's then on the ball, but he's playing against freaking the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs, they're a black hole in the midfield. Like the midfielders, they just.
I think Hollands is a better shout, to be honest. Like,
but when does Hollands play? Hollands plays after GWS.
Okay, so who would you pick? So do what
Sydney plays before him.
Okay, yeah. So do what we're going to do before. Johnson with the E.
Yes.
And then if he doesn't score well, you just put Hollands on field. No worries.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, easy.
So I have to put the E on Johnson. There we go. So we loop in between them. I don't know.
Put Madden on field, yeah? Put Madden on field. Loop Hole Marshall. Oh, so who's your person going to be? Okay, yeah. You're going to pick Bont VC?
I could VC Bont, but I could also... When does... Okay.
The problem is with doing Constable is that if Jimby scores poorly, you have to take him off the field, yeah? So you don't want to hamstring yourself that way.
Yeah, Dan, you've... Look, mate, I'm listening to you. And I really respect what you have to say. So as you can see what I've done, I'm following your suggestion. I am not a proud man. I obviously make my own decision, and if this comes back to bite me in the ass, I'm definitely not blaming you. I'm definitely not blaming you 100%. I appreciate the help so much. I really do. Thank you so much, man. I might VC Bond.
Yeah, VC Bond. Go put Madden on field. Use him as your captain loophole. And then if you need to trade,
I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it immediately right now.
You do because. Yeah, just do it. It's fine. Then you don't have to worry. You can enjoy like the first game and be like, oh, what do I do? Changes later. So it's fine. Yeah, team looks fine. No worries.
Could do Bont into Clary. I don't know. I just see Clary just. I almost feel like straight captaining Clary at this point. I have so much faith in this,
but oh wait, sorry.
What?
You could captain Dawson, but you know that yeah.
Why would I captain Dawson when he's copping the Finn McGuinness tag? When he's copping the Finn McGuinness tag?
All right. Boys, thanks for having me on. Well, not thanks for having me on. Thanks for watching on stream. I'm not sure how long Joe's going to be on for, but I have to head off. So team reviews definitely going to probably come out today or tomorrow morning. Sorry that it's taken this long. Just life and everything else has gone in the way. So yeah. And the fact the filter button was broken for half the week probably didn't help either. Yeah, we'll catch you next time. See you later, guys. Shoot me a message on Facebook as well. We've got our Facebook page up and running. So if you guys have any trade questions or anything, it's really good to do it up on there.
Yeah, you can do either Twitter or on Facebook.
Logo and stuff like that as well.
New logo, you know, it's center bounce.
I've had a few people message through, so feel free to message through on that as well. Yeah.
This is the one.
Catch you guys. See you on Monday, 7:30. Let me know how your teams are going.
Kevin's thanking you. Sean's thanking you, and Big Tom is telling you, let's not talk about Dawson with Joe.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
See ya. I feel like, mate, Tommy, has Big J paid you off or something? Has Big J paid you to come in there and mock at my expense? It is what it is. But yeah, this is sort of what the team is looking like moving into the year. Not in the year, into the round. I'm very confident in Clayton Oliver absolutely tearing up. I don't know. I want from Bontempelli, I want at least 125 for me to take it, because I can see Cloud and Oliver going absolutely bonkers, absolutely bananas this week. Massive occasion. They're a proud group. They have to bounce back after a very disappointing loss where they got put down by my mob. And so, yes, I can see that happening. And thank you so much to Dan from, I'm going to put him back here again. Dan, I'm actually going to go onto YouTube here as well. Yeah, Dan, do you have a... no, you don't actually. But Frio Tragic, if you guys want to see him, this is his Twitter. Frio Tragic. Give him a follow. Very knowledgeable. And as you can see, he's very happy to help out. And he's a writer on the SuperCoach talk page, which for me wasn't working there for some reason. So, guys, go over there, help him out. Friend of the channel, absolute superstar legend. Jonas, on-field, Chandler, Van Ruin or Green. Yeah, I like Chandler. West Coast don't want to burn him. They can't afford to not play him because of injuries. They'll protect him. Yeah, I know. That's the thing with Jimby. But the thing is, Jimby, he's so important to him that, and they've got so many injuries that they almost have to play him at this point. I don't know why that website's not working, but yeah, Frio Tragic is him. They have to play Jimby. Jimby's too important not to play. I think he's part of their future. He's a gun player. He's got a great role. There's no more Yo anymore to eat into his scoring, into his points, into his role. So I don't know. I just think Jimby, and they've acknowledged, Adam Simpson acknowledged during the week that they're going to have to lighten his loads during the week in order to get him being able to play and to be fresh coming into these weeks. So I don't know. I think a lot of good things are being said in relation to Jimby's on-field performance. And I do reckon that he is certainly capable of making more money this week. Yeah, all right, he's going to have a tough matchup this week. He's got a higher break even of 81, but if he continues to score 71 for us, like it says here, he'll still go up another 11K to next week, and another 17K the week after, another 12K the week after that. So there's still money left in this boy. And yeah, I can loophole him with Constable. I can loophole him between him and Cowan. So if he's a sub risk, then at least I can field Cowan, who can give me anywhere between 45 and 51 apparently. So yeah, this is sort of what I'm going in with. It could have been Dawson, but you know what? If I was to jump on Dawson, I'd end up cursing all of you guys who have him. So I'm doing this for you as well as for me. So look, if there's nothing else, I am getting hungry. It's 7:34 now, and I'm yet to eat any dinner. So if there's nothing else, guys, any final questions, comments, jabs at me, whatever you guys want, feel free to leave them in there. But I might just wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining us. We're just getting more and more viewers every single week, and we really acknowledge and thank you guys for coming in and sharing your time with us. We love having that interaction with you guys as much as possible. Love answering your questions and highlighting as many people as we can. Theo, I was wondering, there's someone that I haven't seen on here, mate. Theo, hey dude, my trades this week: Zeeble in, Jake Lloyd in, Tom Green in, out, Jimby, McKenzie, Tom Green. What? How is Tom Green in and Tom Green out? I'm misreading something here, Theo. Zeeble, Jake Lloyd, Jimby, McKenzie. I don't know. Something doesn't seem to be right here. But I think Zeeble in this week is very fair. Absolutely, you can get Zeeble in. Jake Lloyd, yeah, we were talking about it. It's interesting with the way Lloyd is scoring. It's almost like he's back to his gulling best. Oh, sorry, Matt Roberts. Okay, yes. So it's Zeeble, Lloyd, and Roberts in for Green, Jimby, and McKenzie. I don't know, how many boosts have you got? How many boosts have you got left, Theo? Because what you've done is you've brought in 2 keepers at the expense of 1. and it could set you up. And obviously, you're taking out McKenzie. I think McKenzie has to go. For people who tried out McKenzie last week, congratulations. You haven't lost any money on him. Tom Green suspended. Jimby, as we've mentioned here, Big J is very happy to trade out Jimby. But Dan and myself, we love to hold Jimby on field points at everything. It's exactly right. Remember, I wouldn't loop Jimby. Constable is the best captain loop this week. Yes. So, we can put the captain on. Because they're playing down here, and I'm VCing Bontempelli. So, if Bontempelli gives me a great score, I can just put the captain on Constable. So, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not understanding that. Sorry, Dan. But you're welcome, Med. You're welcome, Tommy. Sean, you're welcome. Kevin, you're welcome, guys. You guys are all very welcome. Love having you guys as regulars on the channel every single week. Love hearing from you, seeing your views, your jokes as well. Absolutely. So stay tuned. We're still seeing that through to the end. It hasn't been the best year for us, but we're still having so much fun. Absolutely. And a lot of thanks to you guys. So Big J's probably off recording his team review, which is very late. It's unbelievable. Very slack of him. I'm always onto it right away, guys. Don't you worry. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously helps out with the algorithm, as Dan mentioned before. And if you guys, like the stream, we can pop up more people can enjoy us. Yes, Jonas, absolutely. I can't wait to see Set of Beasts get in a massive score and win the Anzac Day medal. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I want my boys to do well. And the thing is, every one of us should want Setterfield to do really well. You know what I mean? Like every single one of us out here in the SuperCoach community should be praying for this GOAT, this magnificent man's success, because it gives us points on field. It means he's making more money. It's just win, win, win all across the board. So yes, let's all ride on the Setter Beast, the Setter Goat to carry us to victory. Remember, guys, here at the Center Bounce, we do the hard work so you don't have to. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us once again.